Hello darlings, happy Thursday to you, hope you're fine and well. Coming to you live from a rather cold apartment. I've just put the heating back on because it's fucking Baltic here, and one of my beautiful clients and friends said to me, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in Wisconsin. She's not fucking wrong. I wouldn't. I don't do doing cold very well at all. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about projection of various things, and in particular there's a lot of people. I'm going on to the twin flame journey. If you're not interested in twin flames, scroll the fuck up because this isn't for you. Basically, that journey is to bring you back to self. It's to bring you back to the best version of you. It's to make sure you do your healing. They are your mirror. They are your teacher. They are your greatest everything, right? They show you your wounds, your weaknesses, your trauma, your, not always trauma, but they show you the things that you need to heal. You show them things they need to heal. And it can be very intense and very triggering. And that's why you come together. You sometimes will meet them, have a great relationship or situationship, if you like. You'll know that there's deep love there. You'll know that there's something deeper there, but you won't necessarily be able to handle it. And your frequencies, and you're not able to have the capacity to hold that level of light, of power, of fire, of intensity. So you separate and you do your healing work, and then you come back into separation. Sometimes you come to separation several times and then you come into full-blown union. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different. They serve a bigger purpose, and that is to bring unconditional love to the earth grids. And if you're here as a person who had to be unchosen in every aspect of their life, you might be on the twin flame journey. You might resonate with a number of different fucking labels. The label is not important because the label causes divide. If you have chosen to do the healing work, close out trauma, close out cycles, close out generational patterns or curses or difficulties in your family in this lifetime, you are somebody who is going to have been unchosen in many aspects of your life and across the spectrum of your life. So yeah, the twin flame thing. I mean, there's so many people saying, oh, it's a load of bollocks. It's this, it's that, it's the other. You know, I've had people many times message me and say, oh, you know, I know you've come off the journey. You've come away from it because you realised you were dealing with a karmic, or, you know, whatever the situation, or they've messaged me things and sent me stuff that basically says twin flames is a load of shit in the nicest way. And I'm just like, why aren't people more compassionate to someone else's journey? You might think you're helping somebody, but what you're doing is actually spiritually projecting and egotistically projecting onto somebody. And there's several accounts out there that talk about this journey and how it's a load of shit, and, you know, that it's never a real phenomenon. It's never this, it's never that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but just answer me this. If it's not real, why are there so many people talking about it? Why are there so many people coaching about it? Why are there so many people invested in this journey and becoming better people as a result? They are aligning to their purpose. They're aligning to source, to God. You know, they're connecting to themselves more and more. So if it is a load of shite, then why are there more people who resonate with it than there ever has been? Is it because of the amount of people that have talked about it? Is it because it's in a lot of films? But do you not often wonder, why is it in films? Why is it in music? Why? You know what I mean? And it's like, people will project because they feel like they have to do that to make themselves feel more important. And in a way, that's quite egotistical, because they're like, oh, well, I'm not on the journey anymore. So, you know, I'm better than you because I'm not on that journey anymore. And it's like, wait, hang on. At one point you were going, oh, I'm a twin flame. I'm a twin flame. I'm a divine feminine. I'm this, I'm that. And you were full of your own importance. So to come back and then say, yeah, I'm better than you because you're not on the journey. Sorry, I'm not on that journey anymore. I've come off that bandwagon. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other. If you remember when I fucking first left this journey, probably last year, it was my journey and my experience, and I teach about it so that you understand, if you're going through something similar, why you would resonate with it. And this is why a lot of people moved away from me, because they were like, well, she can't teach us because she's not on the journey anymore. which is fair enough. And that was my path to go down that route. Now, Spirit's very clearly saying to me, you are helping twins still. Regardless of your own situation, you are still helping twins. You are still helping people find their divine counterpart. You are still helping people find themselves to align with the greatest love. And ultimately, Twin Flames is all about love. It's not about ego. It's about complete and utter annihilation of the ego to soul. And you and your twin, or you and your counterpart, or you and your person are one frequency, one soul, same frequency, same DNA, same chakra system. So when you're going through a load of shite, they will be as well, in some level, you know. And obviously twins, feminines sort out and heal the top chakras, the masculines deal with the bottom chakras, and then you kind of meet in the middle. And I know a lot of feminines now are more focused on their own stability, and that's beautiful. You do you, boo. You do what you need to do, but don't keep projecting onto people because you've moved away from the journey. Please don't project onto people, oh, I think this isn't your journey either, because you have no fucking clue. You have no fucking clue. And this is the thing, like, people come to me and they say, is this my twin? Is this a catalyst? And I'm like, honestly, it's not for me to tell you. It is for you to tell you. I can give you tips and hints on whether it's that or the other. But ultimately, if someone isn't treating you the way you deserve, if someone isn't showing up for you, if someone isn't choosing you consistently in some capacity that's positive, if someone is taking away from your life, then they're not for you. And that might be that they're not for you for the time being, because it's not the right time, and there's karmic lessons and cycles that need to be closed out. Absolutely. I do believe in that in any kind of love relationship, let alone the whole twin flame dynamic. But okay, I'll give you another example. A soulmate connection I had a long time ago. Beautiful soul. Still dream about the person, actually. And we didn't part on awful terms, but this is an example of something not being the right timing. We were together 6 years, and I split up with him because I wasn't getting the commitment I wanted. So we split up for 3 months. We both met other people, and we both went to older people as well, which is really interesting. And then all of a sudden we reconnected. He reached out to me and we reconnected, and he said, the only way this is going to work is if we live together. And I was like, okay, let's give it a go. And I still loved him, and I thought, you know what, let's just try. And that's what we did. We had 3 months apart to realise that we needed to come back together for that cycle in our lives, to learn the lessons we needed to learn, come back together, buy a house, and be in another part of our relationship for another 3 and a bit years. We did eventually separate, but the point is, sometimes you have to separate with somebody, whatever journey you're on, whatever label you associate with. Sometimes you have to separate with someone because it isn't the right time for you to be in that long-term committed relationship with them. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but it doesn't also mean it's forever. Your person that God has for you is forever. And a lot of divine counterparts, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, it doesn't necessarily mean it's everyone's opinion, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's gospel, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way of looking at it. It's my way of looking at it, and it's how I teach my clients. If someone is for you, it will be God-given. It will be God-sent. However, if there are still lessons to learn from that person, they will teach you them. And if you don't learn the lessons from that person and you dismiss it and you go, no, that's not for me, fine, you'll align with someone else who will teach you the lessons. But a person that God has for you it will be very clear that they're for you. It will be very clear, you'll really understand them, whether that's a twin flame, divine counterpart, soul partner, whatever you want to call the person. If they're showing up for you consistently, and, you know, timing is right, and they've demonstrated ways in which you are able to have a safe space with them. They've shown you they can be emotionally intelligent, emotionally available. You know, your nervous system feels safe around them because you've taught yourself to feel safe on your own. Because, of course, if you don't feel safe on your own, you're never going to feel safe around someone else until you do the work, you know. But then you can meet people who can make you feel safe and who can heal you, who can help you heal, who can identify the healer within you and bring that to the surface. We meet people for many, many reasons, and it upsets me when people say, oh, you know, it's not a twin flame journey you're on. It doesn't exist. It's a load of shit. It's just ego. And I'm like, is it though? Because a lot of my clients resonate with that journey still. Don't get me wrong, a lot don't, and they're done with it, and you know, they've aligned with the person they're meant to be with in a lot of cases, or some of them are just busy working on themselves. The greatest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself, no one else. And if you don't love yourself unconditionally and solely, how on earth do you expect anyone else to? So yeah, I had the lessons with that person, we separated, and I've been through 15 years of rather difficult experiences, to be honest. It's been some beautiful ones as well, but I've had to learn some really difficult lessons, and most of them have been about being unchosen in my life, in my career, in my friendships. Not so much my family, because my family, I'm very lucky, we have a very close family, and I'm very blessed with that. I mean, like all families, we have arguments and discussions and stuff, but we are pretty close, to be honest, and I'm grateful. But, you know, with love and relationships, I'm grateful for what I've experienced. But, you know, for 9 years, I thought I was dealing with a twin flame. I was dealing with someone who wasn't meant to step into that role. He wasn't meant to. And that's no disregard to him, because he is a beautiful soul. But that was not my person. And, you know, I will align with my person whenever the time is right. And it's God's timing, it's God's plan. You know, what will be, will be. And sometimes you go through these connections, and, you know, I've had a lot of clients come to me, they've been dealing with a karmic, and now they're dealing with a real person. And there are still issues, there are still karmic cycles. For you to be in union with somebody, especially on the twin flame dynamic, you need to have, on both sides, closed out all karmic cycles, all karmic contracts, all soul contracts need to be closed, signed, sealed, delivered before you can be an actual full-blown union. Otherwise, they're going to interfere with your next connection, you know, they're going to interfere with your union. So, I mean, I'm still learning on this journey every day, to be honest, and I wouldn't call myself an expert anymore. I did think I was an expert, but there's so much that I didn't know that I've learned in the time since I moved away from my person. And now I'm like, wow, it's a case of you think you know, but you don't. What you think you know, you don't have a fucking clue. You actually don't have a clue. And when people are sending me things in the hope that it's going to help me move away from something, or in the hope that it's going to satisfy possibly their ego in some capacity, all I'll say to you is, did that really need to be done? Did you really need to do that? Because sometimes you don't know how the energy is going to be received, and they could be going for a very difficult time, and you send them something that could trigger the absolute fuck out of them and send them into a meltdown. Now, I appreciate a trigger is an opportunity to heal, but sometimes interfering in someone else's journey will get you karma for it. Fact. So the let them theory comes to my mind straight away when I say this. Let them do what they want to do. Let people think what they want to think. You know your journey. And this is why, you know, you can come to a tutor, a mentor, a guide, such as myself, and we can work together closely for your journey, for your individual journey to union with you, to then go on and align with that right person for you, if that's what you want. And that's beautiful, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit there and give you limerence either. I won't keep someone in limerence. If I think you're in limerence, I will tell you, because Spirit has told me that's what I've got to do. And I have a shamanic name that has Dorji in it, and Dorji is a wrathful name. It's a wrathful energy. And, you know, I was given that name because I have a wrathful nature sometimes. I was called the sassy spiritualist for a reason. And what I will do is lovingly and compassionately say to you, if this is your person, brilliant. Yes, they may be your person, but right now, they're not. And if you keep going on at this, it's going to be a case that you're going to make yourself severely quite poorly. And this is a thing, you can keep stuck in these loops. And I do appreciate sometimes the twin flame dynamic does keep people stuck in loops. It does, because it did me. And once I realised I wasn't on that journey anymore, or rather thought I wasn't on that journey anymore, it was easier for me to just let go of the person, of the journey, of the label. But I lost so much as a result of moving away from that path. I lost friends, clients, finances, abundance. And I lost it in abundance. I lost it quite significantly. And Spirit was like, you're moving away from the journey that you're here to help people on. Well, we're going to make you, you know. But I also had to close out some cycles in my own family lineage, which was quite challenging, to be honest. So, you know, we have to go through these things, and your journey is your journey. And, you know, people like myself are here to guide you back to yourself with love, with compassion. But for me personally, yes, I will do it directly as well, because I need you to understand in no uncertain terms who the fuck you are. If someone takes away your power, that is on them, not you. But it's on you to become grounded in it, to bring back that grounded presence. And that's where I come in to help you. Among all the other things I do, I will bring you back home to yourself. And I've done that because it's something I've had to do for me. And, you know, there's people I go to that have brought me back home to myself. And I'll be forever grateful to those people who've assisted me over the last few years. But, you know, healers still need to go to healers. You know, we still need to go somewhere for guidance and support and, you know, to help work through some energies. You know, you can't do it all on your own, and community is also very important. And that's something else I'm looking at building, more and more of a community, because, you know, people don't feel so alone, because these journeys are very isolating. And whatever you want to call the label, if it's somebody where you've got this beautiful connection but you can't be together because it's not the right time, because healing needs to be done, whatever it is, and then there's someone saying, yeah, but if they were the right person, timing wouldn't matter and it would just come together. No, not if there's fucking wounds that need to be cleared. And God will align you with the right person at the right time. Yes, I do fully believe that. And I do believe for a lot of people who are on this journey, the divine counterpart will become the person that God has for you, and is the person God has for you. It's just, it takes time. It isn't going to just unfold overnight. In an ideal world, especially when you're here, possibly in your last reincarnation, but especially when you're here to be unchosen, to learn how to choose yourself, to then help others do the same, your love life is chaotic as fuck. Mine has been an absolute disaster, if I'm honest with you, for 15 years. For 15 years, I've had some interesting experiences, but at the same time, I've been like, what the fuck did I do that for? Like, I've really chastised myself, and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't judge myself, because I had to go through those things. And, you know, the people in most cases were lovely. There were a few karmic energies, let's say, but they still taught me lessons and I taught them lessons. And they also reflected wounds I needed to heal. And you have to remember that every person you meet has a purpose, a blessing, a lesson, both sometimes, one or the other, to leave you, to love you, to hurt you. You know, it's to teach you. Yeah, it's hard, and, you know, there's no one size fits all on the twin flames journey either. I know my own connection that I was dealing with, and I know now from God and from my spirit team that when I'm aligning with this person that I know is my counterpart, it will be at God's timing, you know, and I'll know when I meet them, and when I align with them, I will know. And it's as simple as that. And, you know, you have to remember to keep choosing yourself in all of this. And when Spirit was like, you are on the journey, you're not acknowledging it, you are on the journey. And I'm like, right, okay, well, who is it then? And they're like, well, it's this person. And I'm like, okay. So they basically described the person to me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess it'll align when it's meant to. And it's as simple as that. I know who they are in terms of the person they are. I know what they do. I know they're in their purpose, to a degree. And, you know, I know that they're in their own healing cycle, just like I am. And when we align, it will be through God's timing and God's plan. And it's the same with anyone. And, you know, these people who I work with, who were dealing with a false twin, who they were very connected and attached to, they've now met the real person, and they're like, oh my God, it's a game changer. Don't get me wrong, there's still been some drama, and there's still been a bit of karmic energy and this, that, and the other, but my word, we're really moving towards being in that space of reunion and then union. And I'm like, well, that's amazing. I'm really happy for you. And union is not just being in a relationship. Union is living together, possibly married, possibly in some kind of committed relationship, but you're also doing your purpose together. And you're not just in union in the 5D or any other realm, you're in union in the 3D. It's a 3D physical relationship, but without the 3D physical paradigms. And this is where unconditional love comes in. But if your person is treating you disrespectfully, or they're not choosing you for whatever reason, walk the fuck away. Not for good, but choose you. You can still have that communication telepathically or energetically, yes. And in some cases, you could still have some communication here and there, depending on how you know them, absolutely. But if someone isn't choosing you, the fuck are you doing waiting around? Choose yourself. Make decisions in your own life for you. But do not let someone poo-poo your journey if it's what you believe. As I said, if I think you're in limerence, I will tell you because I'm guided to. And it's not many people I've had to say. I will tell you that. It's not many people I've had to say it to. Because it's not something I want to deliver ever, because I know it's going to break the person's heart. But if someone had sat me down and said, it's limerence, you're not really, this is nothing. I mean, for 3 years nearly, I thought, yeah, we're going to see each other. It's going to be great. I hadn't seen him for 3 years. I hadn't seen him since 2022, early part of. And all up until this time last year and maybe a little bit later, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to see each other soon. We're going to see each other soon. No, we're not. He's in a fucking another relationship. And you know, and I wasn't trying to be with him for that matter. I wasn't at all. When I was in communication with him, it was just purely friendship. But I was having his higher self tell me other things. And it's like, that's where the telepathy can keep you in the loop as well, because you can be having this conversation with someone, and like I said, you can have telepathy with anybody. It doesn't just have to be your twin flame or divine counterpart. This was someone who was a karmic as such to me, and I still had very strong telepathy with them. But what they were doing was actually preparing me for the right person when I align with them. And I realise that now. And it's a hard and bitter pill to swallow when you thought you were with that person, or you were involved, with that person. But I was never in a relationship with him. I literally was in some kind of fantasy. And I'm not saying that all people go through this, but a lot of the people I've worked with have. And I've helped them get out of that and into the truth. And I bring you home to yourself and to truth. And it's hard. It's hard when you have to sit and listen to someone crying and saying, but this is my person. I'm like, it's not. And I'm telling you that because you deserve more, and you deserve the truth. And the truth is, this is not your person. However, this person coming in is. And normally as well, when you find you were dealing with a twin that was false per se, or karmic, or not for you, but they served a beautiful purpose and lesson to you, you then meet the real person usually quite quickly, because Spirit's like, right, you've done the lesson, you've learnt the lesson, here's the real one. But there's still lessons with this. It's not going to be a perfect relationship because it's not fucking meant to be. Twin flames, divine counterparts are not meant to be perfect relationships. No one size fits all, it applies as well. It really is a case of anomalies, and everyone's on an individual path, and it all depends on what wounds and healing you've got to do, and people can only meet you with the level of healing they have done. So it really is important to understand this. If you're on this journey and you are absolutely certain this is your person and you are growing and healing, and they alongside you are doing the same, then the chances are that is someone of significance who you and them may well be together in the future. Yes. But if you're not seeing any growth from the other person, yet you are continually growing to a degree, chances are it's limerence or it's a karmic. And although they served a purpose, it's not to be dismissed. You have to sometimes learn the hard way, and I learned the hard way for 9 years. So please don't be like me. I had telepathy with him for 6 years, a deep soul connection for 6 years, and we'd had past lives together as well, several. And Spirit's like, yeah, this is what your actual person is. This is them. And I was like, and they've described them to me, and I'm just like that. Okay. And I'll align with them when I'm meant to. It's as simple as that. And you have to remember, the journey to self is what this is all about. Becoming the best version of you so that you can align with your highest timeline across the board. And I appreciate, to do a lot of healing, you do have to be in a relationship. And even though I've not been in a relationship since 2016, a proper full-blown partnership relationship where I was living with the person, I've still grown and done a lot of healing. But I also know Spirit is preparing me for that person where I can grow and do healing with them in a relationship. And again, it'll align when it's meant to. You have to just practice non-attachment. And especially if you align with someone and you think, oh my God, this is my person, you've still got to practice non-attachment. And that's really hard because you want them, and you can only say to the universe, that's who I want, you know what I want, or those qualities. you know, you're not going to be aligned if you're doing the work, if you're doing the healing work, if you are a good person, if you've learned the lessons you need to learn, and it's your time to have that beautiful, unconditional, loving, committed partnership and relationship where you can be in purpose with them, then God will align it. Believe God will align it. You will meet who you are meant to meet. If you have still lessons to learn that are of karmic nature, then you will obviously align with a karmic relationship, or it will be, I've not had the karmic relationships as such for a while. It's been more the friendships that have done certain things to me, or clients. Actually, I've had some really difficult karmic clients, like really heavy energies in clients that I've had to move away from. So, you know, just don't go around poo-pooing people's journey just because you've moved away from what you believe to be a twin flame connection and you've aligned with your godly connection. Beautiful. I'm very happy for you if you have. It's honestly, from the clients I work with, they're just so much happier in themselves because they've done the work and they've aligned with this person because they've done the work. When you're doing the work, you will align with the person. You will. It's God-given. It's just everything has to be as it's meant to. And these people that will send you things saying, oh, you know, you're not on that journey, or this isn't for you, or, you know, just move away from the twin flame journey, it's a load of shit. I disagree, because there's too many people talking about it. And let me be clear, these people who talk about it are extremely successful, extremely abundant people with a lot of followers. And, you know, it's clear that either we're all a load of crackheads and we're buying into a load of bullshit, or it actually does serve a purpose. And we know twins are here to raise the vibration of the planet, but so is anyone who is choosing to do the healing work. It isn't just about twin flames. Anybody choosing to do the healing work is going to align with the best version of themselves, then align with the right conscious partner who is God conscious, who is spiritually awake, consciously awake, heart-centered, emotionally available, emotionally intelligent, a caregiver, a safe giver, provides safety. Yes, you want to be safe on your own, of course. You have to be safe in your own energy. You have to do your regulation work. If your body feels dysregulated, you've got to sit and do your work, breath work, whatever it is, inner child work, trauma work. That's what people like me are here for, to help you work through that and to show you who you are so you can do it for yourself and then teach others. It's a big snowball effect, you know? A healer is not a healer. And a healer, okay, let me rephrase that. A healer is a healer, but a healer is not someone who does the healing work for you. A healer is someone who connects with spirit. And spirit is who does the healing work. But what also happens is, each time you have healing work done, you are identifying with more codes within you that will come to the surface for you to then go on and do your healing work yourself, and then activate to help you then hold space for others who you probably find will go through similar to what you have, and then you then help them. So you go through difficulty to learn the lessons, to then go and get healing, to go and get help, to then be activated within you, your own healer, and then you go and do the same for someone else. And it's a big snowball effect. And that is what true unconditional love is. And it is done through love for self, which is activated by a karmic partner, a twin flame, a soulmate, a high-level soulmate, a divine counterpart, whatever fucking label you want to say it is. I do believe everyone is a reflection of where you are in your own journey, yes, and where you are in your own frequency and where you are in your own vibration, yes. Don't always like those words, but they are what they are. If someone is going through a certain thing, then they're going to align with someone who is also going through that, possibly, so then you can help each other through it. And it might be that that's a healing tool for you both, friendship or otherwise. But, you know, I don't like it when people say the twin flame journey is a load of bollocks, because it can't be, with how many people are on it. And there's a lot more. The 144,000 that everyone used to spout about and go, oh yeah, I'm one of the 144. Yeah, you are. The unconditional love frequency. Yes, you are. When you are in that 144 frequency of unconditional love, you will become part of that 144. And all of us, everyone on this planet, ideally would like to be on that. Truthfully, I think everybody would like to be in a more loving space. But some people are here to spread darkness and fear and scaremonger. And, you know, we have to just remember that we're not here for doing that. Anyone who's aligning to watch this is not here to spread darkness. They're here to spread light and love. but also give love to their shadows. And this is the thing, shadow side, you know, a lot of us have had to work through shadow side last year, and it was hard. So yeah, I think that's enough of me talking about this path. But please feel free to put in the comments your experiences, because I always like to learn other people's, because everyone's journey is very, very different. And mine now is a massive anomaly for me. Like, for the people, I don't know anyone who's on the same path as me. I don't know anyone who's in the same circumstance as me. It's very, very challenging, and you just have to keep going, and turn pain into power, empower people. Hence why I changed my name to the Empowered Soul Alchemist. We're all alchemists. We're all able to touch something and turn it into gold. We're all able to do it. It's about self-belief. And the only time you get that self-belief is when you truly love yourself wholeheartedly and unconditionally. And self-love is absolutely paramount on a journey where you are wanting to align with your highest timeline in terms of love, life, finances, abundance, prosperity. You know, there's just so many people out there who are ready to shut others down, and they think they're helping, but actually you're involving yourself in someone else's karma, and you need to just back the fuck off. You know, if you're trying to tell someone, you think you're trying to help them, but actually you're interfering. This is the whole let them theory. You let people do what they want to do. As long as they're not being an arsehole, let them do what they want to do. Like, and if people are being arseholes, let them be an arsehole. They'll have to pay karma for that at some point, you know? People being difficult is not a reflection on you, it's a reflection on where they are with their own healing journey. And in a lot of cases, people don't want to do the healing because it's so fucking hard. Sitting in your own darkness, day in, day out, is fucking difficult. Sitting in meditation mode, seeing the darkness that you have ensconced yourself in, if you like, is hard. It's really hard. And, you know, you have to give your shadows love. You have to give yourself love. You have to give yourself compassion, so that you can then give compassion to others. And if more people were compassionate and kind and loving in the world would be a better place. And that's why there are so many light workers, star seeds, indigo children, rainbow children, twin flames, divine counterparts, twin rays, whatever you want to fucking call yourself. If you are here for betterment, to bring earth grid happiness and bring love onto the earth grid, you are here, unfortunately, to be unchosen across the aspects of your life, to then learn how to choose yourself, ultimately. And as I said to you, the journey with a counterpart is all about you. Your counterpart, person God has for you, will only align when you've done a lot of the work. But there could still be delays, because divine timing and karmic energies, if you are both dealing with karmic situations, you can't be together with that person until you've both got a settled life, until things have calmed down in your life. So if your person's going through separation, or you're going through financial difficulty, or you're going through the separation or divorce, you know, and there's kids involved, it gets very, very messy with the karmic partner, or with the person who they believed they were going to be with for life in a lot of cases. And so you've got to make allowance for that person to then do that healing work around the previous relationship before they can be with you. They can't be with you straight away. They've got to be allowed that time. And this is what upsets me. Like, people say, oh, if they wanted to, they would. Well, no, if they've not got the capacity, they ain't going to do that, are they? If they haven't got the capacity to receive, or if they haven't got the capacity to have anything else in their life than what they're already dealing with, then guess what? They're not going to include anyone else. Whoever it is, doesn't matter how much they love somebody, they're not going to bring that person into their life if there's chaos. They're not going to bring that person into their life if they can't give to them, especially if they're not able to give to themselves. So if they wanted to, they would, really is a very wide spectrum comment. And honestly, it causes more damage than good. Because if they wanted to, they would, is ego. Sometimes people can want to with all their heart and all their being, but if they aren't in the right place, if they've got a lot of shit in their life, they're not going to bring you in. And that is unconditional love. If you want to know what unconditional love is, it's someone choosing to keep you at arm's length because they're dealing with a lot of shit. It's them choosing to keep you out of their life because they don't want you being shat on the way they are being shat on. And this is what I'm dealing with a lot of my clients. So yeah, I think the TED Talk is over for now. I am going to do a collective. It probably won't be as long as this video though, because this is 35 minutes long nearly. Fuck-a-doodle-doo. But let me know your thoughts and share your stories, because I'm always intrigued. And I'm going to shut up now. Bye!